I'm here with Herbert Diess, the CEO of Volkswagen. Herbert, thank you very much for joining us. We want to talk about all of the challenges and opportunities facing the sector and put those in the context of energy. And that's the part of our day that this interview fits in. So let's focus in on energy. Let's start with the energy transition, the move to electric vehicles. How are you doing in that move to electric vehicles, given all of the headwinds and the challenges that the auto sector faces right now?
Actually, we're doing very, very well. I think we were within the first to decide and to commit to electromobility, and it's paying off now. We are ramping up plant after plant. We are introducing new EVs. We have a full range, the widest range of EVs in the world market. Latest, I would even say iconic car behind me, which was very, very well received. So we're doing well. We are in a few days, we are going to groundbreak for our second gigafactory producing batteries. Though actually it's no headwind. It's the wind is helping.
On that, okay, a tailwind then, conversely. So are you saying then you're able to find sufficient supplies of batteries? Is that not a challenge?
Actually, we are according to plan. No, we always said that by 25 we would sell about 20% of our product portfolio electric, and we are fully on that plan for ramping up.
Okay, from commodities that you use in the cars to commodities that you use to make the cars, clearly there's a lot of focus on energy supply to Germany and energy supply to many parts of Europe. Are you concerned about the possibility that gas could be cut off either by Europe or by Russia?
I think everyone is concerned, no, because Europe and the northern part of Germany, where we are living, is especially prone to Russian gas supplies, and it's not so easy to change fast. I think a lot of progress has made, to buying more liquid gas from the US, from other parts of the world. So there's a lot in the ramp up, but it's going probably not fast enough if there would be a major disruption. I think everyone is preparing well, though everyone is looking for alternatives. Here at the plant in Wolfsburg, for instance, we still have 2 coal-fired power plants, which are on the ramp down because we are just in the process to substitute with gas, but we have some flexibility in shifting. So yes, we are concerned, but also we are preparing.
But the fallback plan involves more fossil fuels then in the short term?
In the short term, no, not on the long term, because at the end, renewables are becoming so competitive, so cheap, that there is no way around renewables anymore, and they're just more competitive.
Yeah, I'm talking to you for the Qatar Economic Forum, of course, and I know that Qatar is a big shareholder in Volkswagen. And I wonder if you have had, and you've talked about other sources of LNG from the US and elsewhere. Well, one of those elsewheres is from Qatar. Have you or your team been having conversations? Have you been involved in conversations about getting more LNG from Qatar?
Not directly, because we are not purchasing direct gas or liquid gas. It comes from the German network in our case, but I'm sure that there have been discussions and support from Qatar to make sure that the ramp up for liquid gas can go faster. Also, it will take time because it's a ramp up of capacity. The gas is there, but it requires infrastructure build up. On the long run, I'm sure that we become independent from Russian gas.
Yes. Can I ask you about the demand situation then at this point? I mean, globally, of course, structurally, you have a big tailwind there because the move to electric vehicles maybe causes more people to go out and buy cars. But cyclically, I wonder if inflation pressures, fears about the cost of living, whether those are weighing, whether those problems that consumers might face are weighing on demand at all.
Yeah, we don't experience it until now. No, it might happen. I would say next year or in 2 years' time. It depends on the economic cycle which we are going to see. But we have a very, very good order bank. On the EVs, it's roughly 1 year, and even on the ICE cars, we have very good order bank. So we don't see customer demand going down or coming down currently, but that might change.
Can I ask you about the Chinese market and Chinese demand? Clearly, China is in a very different place when it comes to the COVID fight, and lockdowns have been having a real impact on the number of vehicles that have been sold in that market. What are your up-to-date expectations there?
Yeah, actually, also it's quite positive news out of China. We have been very much, let's say, hit by the situation in China because our plants are in the most COVID-prone areas in Shanghai and up there in Changchun. And our plants basically have been shut down for several weeks. But they're now in the northern part, they're close to 100% operational already, so 85%. And Shanghai is also following swift. So we're still optimistic that we can meet our 2022 targets in China because we have a recovery plan in place, a huge incentive programs from the government into automotive demand. So we're still confident that we can meet our targets even in China.
Global supply chains, as you'll know, Herbert, and we've talked about many times in the past, have been disrupted by the recovery from COVID, and we still live with that. I wonder if you think about those disruptions to the global supply chain. Do you think about those as, when will they normalize? Or do you think we have to get used to living with just a new kind of normal?
I think we have to make some adjustments. No, we need a little bit more buffers. We have to think about second sources in many cases. So we need a more robust supply chain in the future. That's for sure. We are working on that. On the other hand, we see that also supply situation is improving. Semiconductors in the second half of the year, the outlook is much better. We still will have constraints through this year, probably also next year, but we see an improvement, continuous improvement of the situation. We have been hit hard, especially by the supplies from Ukraine, which we could also cover for, and they are leveling out. Or the constraints from Ukraine also won't, let's say, reduce our ambition and targets towards the end of the year. And worldwide, the disruptions in logistics, yes, no, it's causing some trouble, but normally we are able to recover, to find ways around and to adjust. The supply chains are quite flexible, and there will be one or the other disruption still, but we can manage. So all in all, I'm not too pessimistic for this year.
Okay. Can I ask you about the new standardized software system at VW? There's been much talk or speculation that some important new cars like the Porsche Macan, the new Audi electric model, could be delayed by not managing to get this new standardized software system ready. Can you update us on that at all, Herbert?
Yeah, actually, it's I'm really pleased with the progress Volkswagen is making. The new cars are well received. We get really some applause from public and the audience and the customers of the functionality of the cars. We have very sophisticated driver assistance functions, automated overtaking, lane change, new parking functions. It's really working nicely. Though Volkswagen is really through that process. And also the volume brands, Audi and Porsche, they're having a challenge with the launches, but I'm sure that with the competence of Porsche and Audi combined with our steadily growing software competences, they also will manage.
How long will that take, do you think, Herbert, to get those on track? We've heard some people talking about maybe a solution needs to be presented within 3 weeks. Is that the right timeline?
We are discussing more structural changes. The build-up of software competences to a level where we are, I would say, 90% self-sufficient. That will take a decade or so, because we are still buying teams, companies worldwide, investing heavily in China, in the US, so and it's coming along well, and we have to once again increase our efforts to build up this capacity to be self-sufficient on the software side. We have to increase those efforts. And that's what we're going to discuss within the next weeks.
Okay. Just briefly, Herbert, on Porsche, are you sticking with your plan to IPO the Porsche sports car brand in the fourth quarter? Is that timing still on target?
Yes, we stick to the plan.
Okay. Herbert, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Herbert Diess joining us there, the CEO of Volkswagen for the Qatar Economic Forum.
Thank you very much.